Hello everyone, hope you are well. I wanted to continue on my legend series, but before that, I wanted to say something that was very, very disappointing. Mohammad Hafeez of Pakistan, he made a very stupid, insensitive, and very false comment about Wasim Akram and Waqar Younis. And he said that they, from the 1990s, have done nothing for Pakistan cricket, and they have never been an inspiration for the youngsters, and they have never won an ICC event, which is totally false. I mean, Wasim Akram was the player of the match in the 1992 World Cup finals. And Pakistan cricket, I mean, Imran Khan obviously was a legend. But if you take a world poll contest, like a poll, I'm sure 95% of the world who knows cricket would say that they respect Pakistan cricket most for Wasim Akram and Waqar Younis, two absolute legends of world cricket, history of cricket. And I've said in many videos that without any shadow of doubt, Wasim Akram was the greatest fast bowler that has ever played cricket, and it is absolutely insensitive and absolute nonsense what Mohammad Hafiz has said. Other than slogging some sixes most of the times in T20s and one dayers, and I don't know, even if played test matches, I don't know what he has done significant for Pakistan cricket, and he has absolutely no right to talk about Wasim Akram like that. And Wasim Akram made a very good response. He said he has no time to respond to people like that, and that people like that have no place in his mind anymore. And Waqar Younis put a picture on his, I think it was Facebook or Instagram or something, Facebook, I think, and he posted a picture which said how many matches Waqar Younis and Wasim Akram have played together, and I think it was 191 test matches, and I think they had 1,705 wickets. I think 66 5-wicket hauls and a lot of 10-wicket hauls, and he also put a comment, not bad. I mean, anyway, I just wanted to give my solidarity with Wasim Akram and Waqar Younis, and just want to say it's absolute nonsense, and it's unimaginable that a cricketer, especially a Pakistani cricketer, can say that about Wasim Akram and Waqar Younis. I mean, it's almost like saying that Sachin Tendulkar or Shane Warne or Vivian Richards haven't done anything for India, Australia, or West Indies, respectively. Anyway, coming back to my legends, I wanted to give today someone who was the captain of the Sri Lankan team when they won the 1996 World Cup, and someone who was a born leader, and someone who transformed Sri Lanka from a really weak team into a world-beating team, and someone who was a really innovative captain and a leader that stood by his team, his men, all the time. Some even critically say that even if his teammates were wrong, he used to stand by them, but that is a mark of a good leader. You can't disown your own people, and he was an amazing leader, and he was also a politician and minister of a few different ministers, like different category ministers in Sri Lanka as well. And he was a fine batsman as well, and someone who really is the pioneer of the development of Sri Lankan cricket, and he's also the first Sri Lankan cricketer to score a half century in Test cricket, which came in the first ever Test match of Sri Lanka. I'm talking about the really amazing born leader who really transformed Sri Lankan cricket, Arjuna Ranatunga. He was born December 1st, 1963 in Sri Lanka, and in all he played 93 test matches for Sri Lanka, and he scored 5,105 runs, and he scored 400s. His highest was 135 not out that came against Pakistan, and he has also taken that was 79 wickets in a one-day international, sorry. And that 135 not out that came against Pakistan was the first time ever a Sri Lankan pair. I mean, he together with Shanga Gurusinga, the wonderful batsman from Sri Lanka, that was the first time ever a Sri Lankan pair had batted out an entire day. I mean, they were in trouble in the fourth innings against Pakistan, who had Imran Khan, Wasim, Akram, and Abdul Qadir, and they put an unbroken 240-run partnership, and they batted out the whole last day five. And that is I'm talking. That was his 135 not out, which was a classic innings. And in one-day matches, he played 269 matches for Sri Lanka, and he scored 7,456 runs, and he scored 400s as well in one-day internationals, and he took 79 wickets, which I mentioned before. He used to bowl pretty decent left-arm spinners. And like I said, he was the first ever Sri Lankan to score a half century in Test cricket, the first day in his debut. And he made his Test debut in 1982, the year that I was born, even before I was born in February. And he was only 18 years of age when he made his debut. And he also took the captaincy of Sri Lanka in 1988, pretty soon when he was around 25, 26. But he wasn't the captain when Sri Lanka played that 1992 World Cup, Benson and Hedges World Cup in Australia. Aravinda De Silva was the captain. But he was literally in charge of Sri Lanka team from 1988 until he retired, except for that De Silva captaincy in 92 World Cup. And there's also been a very significant contribution from Ranatunga. I mean, I would definitely say, Ranatunga, one thing that I always remember, he used to square cut the ball really well, and he was a very smart batsman. I've always said that Javed Miandad was a really street smart batsman, and Ranatunga was a really good batsman who had amazing match awareness about him. And even though he was stocky and more than built for a normal cricketer, like a size-wise, he was an excellent judge of a run, and he used to really judge the run well, and he used to run pretty well. Not the pace, but the judge of a single. Even Jonty Rhodes was an amazing judge, as well as quick, obviously. And in 1992 World Cup, that was what I was going to say, Zimbabwe had scored 313 against Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka chased that target, and that was the first time ever in one-day international history that a team had chased anything about 300, and Ranatunga scored 88 not out in that match. So that was a history-making innings. And also in the 1997 Asia Cup, Sri Lanka won under his captaincy, and they beat India in the finals. He was the top scorer of that tournament with 272 runs, and his average was a stunning 136 in that tournament with 1 century and 250s. Obviously, he was not out a lot as well. And it is also under Arjuna Ranatunga that Sri Lanka witnessed their first historic test win in England on English soil in 1998, and Sri Lanka had beaten England by 10 wickets. That was the first time ever that they beat England in England, and I can't say a serious win because it was a one-off test match, but on paper they won that series 1-0. And a lot of people might not know this. In that 1996 World Cup that Sri Lanka won, I mean, he did obviously score that final boundary. The winning run was scored by Ranatunga, and Ranatunga De Silva were batting together. In that 1996 World Cup, I mean, a lot of batsmen scored more runs than Ranatunga, like Tendulkar, Marco, a lot of them, De Silva. But Ranatunga scored 241 runs in that 1996 World Cup, and he had the highest average of that World Cup, 120.5. And another thing, anyone who scored more than 100 runs in that tournament, he had the second highest strike rate. He had a strike rate of 114 something, and it was only the second strike rate. The first was obviously Sanath Jayasuriya, who was going all guns blazing in that World Cup. And talking about Jayasuriya, I mean, how innovative Ranatunga was. I mean, the 1996 World Cup, Kalividarna and Jayasuriya, the first 15 overs, they used to score so fast, and I mean, all that innovation and that strategy was all Ranatunga's idea. And another thing about Ranatunga was that he didn't have the greatest of teams. If you look at the 96 World Cup, Australia, South Africa, West Indies, they all had big teams. Sri Lanka on paper didn't have the greatest of teams, but he really led them well, and that is the mark of a great captain, to win even when you don't have the greatest of resources or team. So a lot of credit should go to Ranatunga for that. I've given Stephen Fleming, Hansi Kronia, Mark Taylor as some special captains in my opinion, and in cricket, and Ranatunga was definitely one of them as well. And Ranatunga's contribution to Sri Lankan cricket can never be forgotten, and he has always been a huge inspiration for Sri Lankan cricket. And Ranatunga, there's a lot of good memories about him. I mean, like I said, the way he used to cut the ball, and he really had a lot of match awareness about him. So that is my video on Arjuna Ranatunga, the pioneer of Sri Lankan cricket in a way. I mean, someone who transformed Sri Lanka from a weak, like a minnow status they had. They used to lose most of the matches that they played, and they won the World Cup in '96, and Sri Lanka became a big force in international cricket after that. And all credit should go to Ranatunga for his contribution, an amazing leader of men. And that is my video for Ranatunga, and just want to say thank you to Arjuna Ranatunga for everything you have done for Sri Lankan cricket, for making Sri Lanka a world-beating team, and for all the contribution that Sri Lankan cricket gave to world cricket. I mean, through Ranatunga, De Silva, Jayasuriya, I mean, Sangakkara, Jayawardena, Ranganahara. There's a lot of people that I can, Chamindava, sorry. A lot of people who come to mind who gave a lot of contribution to world cricket through Sri Lankan cricket, and a lot of credit should go to Arjuna Ranatunga. That is my video on Arjuna Ranatunga. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of memories and probably a lot of nostalgia when you hear Arjuna Ranatunga. He will take you back to late 80s and those glorious years of cricket that was in the 90s. Anyway, thank you everyone. Take care. God bless you.